There is something that joins these three elements: water, light, and knowledge, in this instance, in the Quran Ibn Arabi project. If we think of water, light, and knowledge in that order, we go from the most substantial to the least substantial element: water, light, knowledge. The point that Ibn Arabi wishes to make is that what actually happens is we go from the least substantial to the most substantial, even though it looks otherwise. The water is of the physical realm. It's beautiful, and we love it, and we feel refreshed and spiritualized even in its presence. The knowledge that it leads to is something that is much more substantial and much more enduring than the actual threshold that we see here, which is the water. Water is hard to tear oneself away from, and because of its importance in the world. We think then that when humanity actually wakes up and sees that it's water that is the most valuable resource on the planet, that will represent a change in the way we all treat each other. Water, in its flowing and luminous quality, is a metaphor, and more than a metaphor, in the sense of spiritual reality, or haqa'iq, as it were, for this central notion in Ibn Arabi's thought known as walaya. Water and walaya are similarly constituted. Water flows as does walaya flow. This is the central idea of the way in which the universe is structured, according to Ibn Arabi. Permeation of walaya and light and the divine qualities in the world. It circulates through the cosmos and through the hearts. The words of the Quran hang together has to do with the way in which the elements become live agents of action. Knowledge, in a sense, is also an element. What Ibn Arabi refers to as the divine names, and these various energies that permeate the universe, that circulate through the universe, that radiate through the universe. The divine names are then something of a spiritual periodic table of elements that are there, that we use to try and gauge our position in the realm of being. Their divinity is that they draw us out of ourselves and aim us higher. The word for knowledge, ilm, is better thought of not so much as an inert noun, but as a process, as knowing. It is really something that is in motion. Knowledge doesn't stop at a certain point. It's always verbal. It's always participial. It's always in action, flowing like the water, like the light. It's radiating. Water and light are also essential hormones of the imagination. They are elements of the natural realm that lead us beyond nature. The living natural cosmos, and everything in it, is the imaginal projection of the divine. Imagination is the single most powerful divine activity, and it issues in what is frequently referred to in Scripture as creation. The light of the imagination draws us together to the primal scene of our collective beginning on the day of the covenant, the birthplace of time, history, and consciousness, where we were all gathered in the divine presence. In Quranic language, much loved and venerated by Ibn Arabi, where all are created from the same water. The poetic dynamics of water and light in the Quran and Ibn Arabi's writings generates a noetic and experiential music of remembrance, recognition, and knowledge, through which the revelation of our common humanity is nourished. Our sense of our common dependence upon the real is articulated and deepened, and our common engagement with the imaginal realm illumined and guided. We live in a world that is radiated with meaning. Everything is splendid with meaning. From the famous verse 41:53, which God makes it clear, He has placed His signs, the signs of His reality, the signs of reality, the signs of truth, in the cosmos, in the macrocosm, in the universe, in creation out there, and in the interiors of human beings, in their souls. And this word, as we all know, sign, is an important word in Islam. This ayah It also means a verse of the Quran. The Quran is very clear about this, that there are actually 3 books to be read simultaneously. And the mystics took this up with great panache and brio, and celebrated and luxuriated in the idea of the several books in the cosmos, the book of creation, the book in the horizons, where everything that exists that you encounter is a location for, in Arabi's words, the revelation of God. In the inside of human beings, in the souls, the signs have also been deposited. And so we're called upon to think and ponder these signs. And then, of course, the signs that compose the book. The verses of the Quran are called signs. A believer is also a reader. A believer and a reader have the same vocation. They read the signs of the universe and the signs of the soul and the signs of the book simultaneously. A big part of these signs, again, is light, knowledge, and water. And they are there for a purpose. They are not mere poetry. They are there because we experience them in our lives, in all aspects of our lives, and we incorporate them into our consciousness, and they become part of our knowing, our act of knowing. Everything that is apprehended must have a special relation to the apprehending light, which is God. God is all that apprehends and all that is apprehended. The Day of the Covenant, we mentioned it before. I don't know if there's another story like this someplace else. It's an origin myth. It's in the Quran. God, before time and space existed in the Quran, in this timeless and spaceless occasion, takes from the children of Adam, from their loins, their potential, all of the future generations of those human beings who will live. And they're all arrayed in the presence of God, and God then says, "Am I not your Lord?" to them all. And they all instantly respond, "Yes, indeed." Completely unanimous. Everyone is there. Everyone who's ever lived or who ever will live. We are all united in the same spot. This is the meaning of this myth, that there is a primordial unity in humanity that needs to be remembered. Now, the subtitle of the talk was Towards an Ecology of Imagination. Well, we have imagination, and it's our gift. It's one of the ways in which we commune with divinity. Ibn Arabi also says that there are kinds of imagination. There are lower kinds that are unworthy, that we may better describe as mere fancy. And there are types of imagination that are elevating and edifying. And when you were using the word the ecology of imagination, of course, I was thinking some way to keep us away from the unworthier modes of imagination and to lead us toward the more edifying and elevating modes of imagination. Light is important, again, because humanity exists in the same 2 forms as light does, right? Light as waves, as a community of humanity, and light as individuals, as particles, right? So we're all together. We all share the structure of light. And because of the way in which the ayan athabita leave the realm of non-existence and come into the realm of existence, and they're always there, he tells us, time is really an illusion. Time has no wujud, right, at all. The ayan are still as close to us as they ever were. We are just unfolding ourselves in the reality of God. Time is that which keeps everything from happening at once. So the light that washes through us at all times now is the same light that is used to purify the imagination and to make it focus toward the worthier deployment of the imagination. These symbols and images have a reality that are beyond our ability to see directly. that they themselves have a nourishing quality, that we read them and we immerse ourselves in the language of the Quran or the teachings of Ibn Arabi, and these ideas stay with us, even if we don't immediately feel satisfied that we understand everything that's being said. Just because they are invisible or because we don't have a one-to-one correspondence doesn't mean that they are, in fact, not only real, because as Corban taught us, the world of khayal is, even though we call it an imaginal realm, it is actually more real than our world right in the here and now. So this is the realm to which these elements of the divine periodic table, the hormones of the imagination, are drawing us so that we can regain the vision of our original human unity. Thank you.